Piedmont Airlines Flight 349, a journey through the storm. Introduction. On the fateful day of January 16, 1959, Piedmont Airlines Flight 349, a Vickers Viscount 745D, took off from Newport News, Virginia, bound for Atlanta, Georgia. With 27 passengers and a crew of 4 on board, the flight began as a routine journey. However, as the aircraft climbed into the sky, it would soon encounter unforeseen challenges that would test the resolve of its crew and passengers. The calm before the storm. As the passengers settled into their seats, the atmosphere inside the cabin was filled with excitement and anticipation. Families reunited, business travelers prepared for meetings, and vacationers looked forward to sunny days in Atlanta. The flight attendants, with their warm smiles and welcoming demeanor, reassured everyone that they were in safe hands. Unexpected turbulence. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft began to experience mild turbulence. The captain, experienced and calm, communicated with the passengers, assuring them that it was a normal occurrence. However, the weather was rapidly deteriorating. Dark storm clouds loomed in the distance, and the plane was soon enveloped in a tumultuous storm. The storm hits. As Flight 349 entered the storm, the turbulence intensified. Passengers clutched their armrests as the plane jolted violently. Lightning flashed outside the windows, illuminating the fear etched on the faces of those on board. The crew worked diligently to maintain control, navigating through the chaos of nature's fury, struggling against the elements. With the storm battering the aircraft, the captain and first officer made critical decisions to ensure the safety of everyone on board. They communicated with air traffic control, seeking guidance and alternate routes. The flight attendants, ever vigilant, moved through the aisles, providing comfort to passengers and checking on their well-being. A desperate situation. The storm raged on, and the aircraft began to experience severe icing on the wings. The pilots struggled to maintain altitude as the engines worked harder against the weight of the ice. Panic set in among the passengers as they realized the severity of the situation. A collective prayer filled the cabin as everyone hoped for a miracle. Emergency landing preparations. Realizing they could not continue to Atlanta, the crew prepared for an emergency landing at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. The captain briefed the passengers on what to expect and urged them to remain calm. As the aircraft descended, the turbulence continued, but hope flickered among the passengers. They were nearing safety, touchdown, and relief. With incredible skill and precision, the captain brought the aircraft down on the runway. The landing gear touched down, and a wave of relief washed over the cabin. Cheers erupted as the plane came to a stop, the passengers grateful to be alive. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, ready to assist and guide them safely off the aircraft. A conclusion. Piedmont Airlines Flight 349's harrowing experience serves as a reminder of the courage and resilience displayed by those in the face of danger. Though the journey was fraught with peril, the skilled crew ensured that all aboard returned safely to solid ground. The story of Flight 349 lives on, a testament to the power of teamwork and the human spirit in overcoming adversity. Piedmont Airlines Flight 349, a journey through the storm. Introduction. On the fateful day of January 16, 1959, Piedmont Airlines Flight 349 embarked on a routine journey that would soon turn into a tale of survival and human resilience. The aircraft, a Vickers Viscount 745D, took off from Newport News, Virginia, with 27 passengers and a crew of 4 on board. As the plane ascended into the skies, excitement filled the cabin. Families, friends, and business travelers were all looking forward to their time in Atlanta, unaware of the storm that awaited them in the clouds. The calm before the storm. As passengers boarded, the atmosphere was filled with a mix of excitement and anticipation. Some passengers, children and adults alike, gazed out the windows at the bustling tarmac, while others chatted cheerfully with their neighbors. Flight attendants moved gracefully through the cabin, securing luggage and offering assistance, their warm smiles creating an inviting environment. Among the passengers was Mr. Harold Thompson, a businessman traveling for an important meeting, and Mrs. Eleanor Hughes, a grandmother flying to visit her grandchildren. As the engines roared to life, the excitement in the cabin built. The pilots, Captain James Jim Anderson and First Officer Robert Bob Kline, exchanged knowing glances, confident in their abilities to navigate the skies. Unexpected turbulence. Just minutes after takeoff, the smooth ascent began to falter as the aircraft hit unexpected turbulence. The captain, speaking over the intercom, reassured the passengers. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a little turbulence, but it's nothing to worry about. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened." However, the calm demeanor of the crew did little to assuage the unease in the cabin as the plane began to shake violently. Outside, dark storm clouds gathered ominously, flashing with intermittent bursts of lightning. The cabin lights flickered, and whispers of concern spread among the passengers. The storm hits. As the aircraft ventured deeper into the storm, the turbulence intensified dramatically. The plane rocked back and forth, and the sound of rain pelting against the fuselage grew louder. Children began to cry, and adults clutched their armrests tightly. Captain Anderson and First Officer Kline fought to maintain control of the aircraft, their focus unwavering. "Keep an eye on the instruments," Bob Captain Anderson instructed, his voice steady but firm. The two pilots communicated efficiently, navigating through the chaotic weather. Outside the cockpit, flight attendants worked to comfort frightened passengers, ensuring they felt as secure as possible amid the turmoil. Struggling against the elements. The storm escalated, with severe turbulence causing the aircraft to plunge and rise erratically. The pilots quickly realized they were in a perilous situation. The aircraft was accumulating ice on its wings, which could compromise its lift. The cockpit filled with warning alarms, and Captain Anderson's heart raced as he strategized a solution. "Prepare for possible icing. We need to descend and find a clear path," he ordered, glancing at the altimeter. Meanwhile, in the cabin, the tension was palpable. Passengers exchanged worried glances, their earlier excitement now replaced by fear. Mrs. Hughes held her grandson's hand tightly, whispering reassurances to calm him, while Mr. Thompson mentally prepared for the worst as he thought of his family waiting for him in Atlanta. A desperate situation. Realizing that their current course was no longer viable, Captain Anderson and First Officer Kline contacted air traffic control for assistance. "Charlotte, this is Flight 349. We are encountering severe turbulence and icing conditions. We need vectors to the nearest airport." Captain Anderson said, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding him. "Flight 349, turn right heading 180 degrees. You're cleared to descend to 5,000 feet," came the response from the control tower. With every ounce of focus, the pilots executed the maneuver, but the aircraft continued to shake violently. Panic began to seep through the cabin as the passengers were gripped by the realization that they were in a life-threatening situation. Emergency landing preparations. As the storm raged on, the decision to divert to Charlotte Douglas International Airport was made. The crew prepared the passengers for an emergency landing. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make an emergency landing in Charlotte. Please follow the crew's instructions and remain calm," Captain Anderson announced. Flight attendants moved through the cabin, instructing passengers on proper brace positions and ensuring everyone was securely fastened in their seats. The tension was thick, the air was filled with murmurs of prayer and nervous chatter. As they descended through the storm clouds, the plane shuddered and the engine struggled against the fierce winds. Touchdown and relief. With the runway in sight, Captain Anderson focused on stabilizing the aircraft. The runway lights flickered through the haze of rain, guiding them home. "Prepare for landing," he called, and the cabin held its breath. The tires met the asphalt with a jolt, and cheers erupted as the aircraft rolled down the runway, the storm finally behind them. As the plane came to a stop, emergency vehicles rushed alongside, lights flashing in the pouring rain. Passengers erupted into applause and tears of relief filled the cabin. They had survived a harrowing ordeal thanks to the skill and composure of their flight crew. The door opened and the crew quickly assisted passengers off the aircraft, guiding them into the safety of the terminal. Conclusion. Piedmont Airlines Flight 349's harrowing experience serves as a powerful reminder of the courage and resilience displayed by both the crew and passengers in the face of danger. Though the journey was fraught with peril, the skillful actions of Captain Anderson and First Officer Kline ensured that everyone aboard returned safely to solid ground. The story of Flight 349 lives on, not just as an account of a turbulent flight, but as a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of teamwork in overcoming adversity. As the passengers departed into the warmth of the Charlotte terminal, they carried with them a shared experience that bonded them in ways they could never have imagined.